Hi guys, this is just some basic things that you need to know for Google Classroom, especially if you're new to it. So I want to show you first how when you are in the classwork section, that if you need to create something, you can always reuse a post from another classroom. So if you've assigned something once, you can go into your classroom and assign it again and it will simply just copy it. So that's a nice feature. You will notice in week 1 that this right here is a material because this is where I will be posting my HyperDoc for the week's assignment. You notice that in the classroom that you're working in. And to do that, to post a material, you simply click Create Material. Now, the difference between a material and a assignment is there's no place for you to grade it. So it doesn't show mark as done or undone. So that's the difference there. You can create an assignment, which when you create an assignment, you want to always be sure it's under the topic. So I'm going to go to topic here, and it's going to be week 1. And this assignment, let's see, will be put the date. And this is just random. You can add from your Google Drive, so a document that you've already created. The internet's being a little bit slow today. So this is all the work I've been working on, but say I wanted to add the protocols, then I can just click Insert. And then once I have inserted my document, I have the options for my students to only view the file. I have the options for my students to be able to edit the file. So if I added a Google slide presentation and I wanted each student to do a Google slide, then I would want them to be able to edit that because we're working on one document. Or do I want it to make a copy for all of the students where they have their own copy? So I do not want to give out the protocol, so I'm not going to do that. You can also add from a link. So if you have created something in Flipgrid or in Edpuzzle and you want to add the link right here, you can do that. You can add a YouTube video for students to watch, either search for a topic or by URL. You can add something from your computer, but since we're having Chromebooks, you probably won't have very much stored to your computer. You can also create a doc or a slide or a sheet or a drawing or a forms within your the assignment. So you can just start from the beginning and say you're going to create a slideshow, and again it would open it up for you, but you would decide here how you want the students to interact with it, and you could just start working on it. You want to be sure that you always give your things a title. So there will be some more in-depth training as to if you want to name your assignments or if you want to when to use the different types of assignments, I guess would be a better way to explain that. One of the good features you need to know about is you can schedule your assignments, and so that's going to be really important for attendance. You want to be sure that you're only scheduling the assignment for the date that it's due, whatever your graded assignment will be for that day. That's going to be to check your attendance. So you could schedule all those at the beginning of the week, and you just know that they'll pop up on the day that they're due. So that's especially important for our virtual teachers. The other thing that you need to know in the Google Classroom is that you can create a quiz right from here. So that's going to be in the form of a Google form, and you'll be able to import the grades into it. You can choose for it to be locked on your Chromebook. So that's a nice little feature. And you can even choose for it to import the grades if you want. So then you just need to open that up and go in and create your quiz. You can also, one of my favorite features, and this is be a good quick feature for you to use if, say, you're working on a long project for the week, but you still need something for attendance, is to use the Google Classroom question feature. So I can type in, what progress did you make today on your research paper? And then I can make that a short answer, so the students would have to type in their answer. And remember, always put it under the topic. You can choose to let them reply to each other, so it's a good place to have a discussion. You can allow them to edit their answer, and they can't actually see anyone else's responses until they've made a response. So sometimes they'll encourage them to make a better response if they can edit their answer. And by having an open-ended question, that's obviously also something that you can't really cheat on, but they can learn from each other. You can also do questions that are multiple choice. So if you just wanted a quick, how did you feel about today's lesson? I'm great. I need more help, or I don't understand it all. You can do that. And just like the others, you can schedule these or save them, but I'm going to discard it. You can add a document that goes with it if you like. So add a material. Maybe you want them to watch a video or watch a slideshow before you answer the question. That's an option as well. And again, you can create within that. So let me double check my checklist to make sure that I've covered everything we need to cover. So posted assignments, change how students interact. Okay, haven't talked about that one. When you are creating an assignment, so if you want to differentiate and you have a more difficult assignment for your gifted and talented kids, or you need a modified assignment for your 504 students or your special education students, or if you just want students to work in groups, you can create your assignment. Now, I don't have any students in my class, so let me go to an old class of mine that actually has students, so you can see how that works. So if I create an assignment, and here where it says all students, well, I don't want all students to do it. I only want these 3. So I can choose which students I assign the work to. And that's a really good way to differentiate assignments or do station work by choosing which students you want to have the work. So it is important when you're working in your Google Classroom, see what happens when they're not in topics. This was a sample I was using during Digital Dogs to help some teachers, but it's super unorganized when you don't use topics. It makes it very difficult to find as compared to an organized classroom where my students know where to find things. So when you are working in Google Classroom, be sure that you're using topics. Be sure that you are titling your assignment and that you have some type of consistent way to assign it. And you do also want to be sure, since we could switch to remote at any time, that you are putting in instructions on your assignment. So when I open my assignment, I should see what they need to do. And as well as due dates for our attendance in with our ADA. So, and how you do that is over here is where you can post your due date. So if it's the assignment you're using for the attendance, then you want that it defaults to always to the next day, but you want to have it for that day. So be sure that your due dates are correct for attendance purposes. So those are just a few basics on Google Classroom. I'll also post a playlist of some additional information for those that want to dig deeper. And as usual, your innovation team is here to help you out. Have a great day.